Well, greetings everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of Metaworld News. This is the program where Metaworld Broadcasting brings you the latest news from immersive social worlds and sort of virtuality interfacing in general. My name is Mal Burns, Mal Space Burns, as it were, but you find me on Twitter. Where I have been squashed. I am always squashed. Well, one word, MALBURNS, twitter.com/MALBURNS. And indeed, we've got a second feed, which is twitter.com Metaworld News, also squashed. Yes, you can't get away from the squashing. Anyway, you'll find various links in those feeds, and I'm giving you the highlights here. And if I'll be reading them out, but if you miss a link or something or want to check it out, check me out on that feed. Anyway, today we're on the highlights for the week ending September the 8th. And this week we are back again, as it were, after a week. So there's no sort of August catch up involved
Hmm.
this week. It's just
Right.
1 week's worth of links. Yeah, so that's a relief at least. Okay, few things, mostly just general links and news, nothing specific as far as social platforms are concerned. So I'm going to dive straight in. I'm also joined here by James Atloud, who's operating our sort of cameras and stuff like that. He's actually bringing you pictures of my desktop so you can see what I'm talking about, as well as my avatar. And yeah, and he will be chatting now and again, won't you, James?
Now and
Welcome,
again,
James.
yeah. And so-called camera is right. This is definitely something I would so-call a camera. It's sort of
Right,
it's sort of
yeah.
like a camera.
It's sort of like, yeah, exactly. Some other platforms, they really are cameras, but here it's a so-called camera.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very
Mm-hmm.
good. Okay, yeah, once again, we're actually coming to you from the High Fidelity platform this week. We're in a region called Franny, which, in fact, we're recording this early on Sunday evening, UK time, and in about, I think, two in the afternoon, Pacific time. There's a weekly sort of discussion sort of forum here too. Avatars get together and talk about various topics or a set topic. Quite interesting it is. So anyway, we're kind of using her place to film this because there's nobody else around as a rule. Okay, let me get on with it. So the first link I have up here is from a site called AR VR Journey. So that's ARVR and then the word journey, JOURNEY.com. It's all one word, ARVR Journey, and then .com. And yeah, this would have been, where was it? Oh, I don't know what this is even doing in my feed because the actual article was dated April 24th last year. That was a good one. I think it must have been republished for a reason. Okay, expert views: three ways VR is transforming learning and development. And since it is so old, I'm going to leave that be. Um, it's actually looks like it's been relayed to a site. It seems to be a post at Medium. I think something has gone a bit awry with that one. Right, moving on. Right, one of our regular favorites here is Road to VR. Just rearranging a little box there so you can see everything. Their address is road to VR, all one word.com. And this article, which was September 2nd, which would have been, let's see, Monday, wouldn't it? Facebook, yes, them, uh, published new research on hyper-realistic virtual avatars. Facebook are forging away on their both AR and VR stuff. They've got so much money invested in it, they can't really help it, really, can they? I just hope that they don't. It doesn't become a last man standing with Facebook at some future point. Anyway, they are working on hyper-realistic avatars, which of course is something I know a lot of people in virtual worlds have always wanted. Others obviously, oddly enough, don't want them at all. They want fantasy figures or cartoon figures, anything but things that remind them of themselves. But I must admit, I've always liked the idea of realistic avatar.
You're
So,
you're in one now.
oh, yes, indeed, yes. This has been done at Facebook Reality Labs, which is the company's AR/VR research and development group, and they published detailed research, and it's work that the company has called Codec Avatars. And there's, yeah, as you can see, they've illustrated the article a little bit with the same illustrations. Yeah, a fair bit to read there if you want to find out more about what they're doing there. Right, moving on, and we're on digitalbodies.net. Digital bodies, like on the title you see in front of you there, but all one word, and then .net. Yes, that makes sense, doesn't it? Right, um, AR, VR, AI, all of this in the virtual future. So the title of this article, oh, love these little horses, don't you? These are 39 innovative VR projects that were showing at the Venice Film Festival. Um, look, you get all my pop-ups when I mouse over things here. Never mind, never mind. um, the Venice Film Festival is now known as Venice Virtuality, and the works are divided into two tracks. One's focusing on linear 360 videos, and the other on interactive and non-narrative works. And uh, it all takes place on an island. It looks very boring. It looks like an industrial island, that, but never mind. I'm sure it's pleasant enough when you land and go into wherever it's happening. Right. Um, okay. Really just a roundup there. Some little pictures and stuff to go with it, but nothing I can scrolling down. Nothing I can sort of pull out as a kind of highlight. Daughters of Chibok VR project. This year's winner is. There you go. And right, Eliza McNitt's beautiful work spheres won the top honor, etc., etc., etc. Anyway, so digitalbodies.net, and you'll be looking for something about the 3rd of, if I remember rightly, 3rd of September. So yes, indeed. So that was about Tuesday last week. Okay, moving on. Um, now this was kind of interesting. This post is something called WeForum, WeForum. I presume it's a forum, and the WE stands for something, but I'm not entirely sure. Uh, uh, Seems to be co-written by Jessica Outlaw and Susan Perksey, who are well known. Um, it's all about industry review boards, which they consider are needed to protect VR users' privacy. This is quite an interesting one. It's pity we don't have Maria here for this sort of one, actually. It's we know about the haptics, we know about the platforms and everything else, but just like on the web itself, there are issues of privacy and stuff. And the idea here is there need to be some industry review boards addressing this. And actually, when I think of the previous thing about Facebook, then it's even more. I would think it's even more crucial to have knowing the way they behave. Um, anyway, basically, they've quoted about a game when Riley started virtuality, a VR maze, room scale VR, etc. What the guy created didn't know was that a startup had created this game for him and decided to sell the user's tracking data, which I don't think he anticipated. Anyway, they're giving that one as an example, um, and a few hypothetical situations. And as you see, no reason Maria should be here. It's a picture, a chart.
A chart, right?
Okay, this is the potential of diverse potential of VR and AR applications. Um, Unintended consequences that arise when medically relevant data is fed into the user's psychometric profiles. They may start out relatively harmless, merely predicting when somebody might be planning to buy a car or something, but sprawling psychographic profiles with medical inputs could leave people vulnerable to the type of scenario outlined above. Scare stories, basically. Um, I'm not even going to try and summarize that, but it covers important stuff. So if you're at all worried about security and privacy issues, particularly in virtual worlds, then you're worthy of checking this out. So the actual post here is dated 29th of August, so it's over a week old, but only came through this week. The site you want, as I said, is WeForum. That's WEFORUM.org. And yeah, if you're on the front page, just look back down to 29th of August. I don't think you'll find it's a particularly busy site, so you should be able to find it fairly easily. Or follow the link at Twitter, of course. Right. Afterlife. This is a post at uploadvr.com. UPLOAD and yeah, it's well, the logo's off the screen here. So um, this is on PlayStation VR. It's on Steam for Vive, on Oculus, the App Store, Afterlife, etc. And it's just one of those occasional reviews that come up that catch my eye because it seems to be a bit different. It lies somewhere between a game, Afterlife that is, between a game and a short movie. It's not a social virtual world as such, but it's interesting. And they basically spoke with the developers to learn more about it. And you've got like a fairly extensive interview here looking at it. Okay. Right, back to road2vr.com. Road2vr, or one word.com. And the digital frontier where the brain computer interfaces and AR VR could one day meet. We do keep on getting to this as a subject, but this is an editorial by Scott Hayden. September 4th means it would have been Wednesday that this appeared, isn't it? And well, basically, at its most simple, a brain sensing computer can sort of sense when you want it to move up or down, or scroll a web page, or move your cursor left or right, or stuff. But um, at a more complex level, of course, it means that your mind can actually, we might not even have a cursor, your mind control the direction your avatar walks, or jumps, or flies, or whatever. And you may even be able to use a brain controller to make the avatar raise its arm and wave at somebody, even though you don't necessarily have a haptic suit on with which you are, actually waving your arm. So a lot of potential there, and this is very much an editorial from Scott about where things might or might not be going. And yeah, as you can see, quite a lot to talk about there. And yep, there's a headset that looks more palatable. Oculus Connect 5. It does not exist yet. It's a concept image. So anyway, more about that. You want road2vr.com. Okay. Engadget. This is engadget.com. You can see the logo sort of at the top there. The musician Bjorg, where did she come from? Iceland, isn't it? I always used to like her, although I haven't heard much of her recently. She's been doing quite various VR, mostly 360 video tile experiments and things with her releases of late. And basically, all the stuff she's been working on VR wise over the last 4 or 5 years has now been compiled into her, finally ready Bjork's VR album, meaning this is a kind of full length, I don't know, 70 or 80 minutes, like CD length um, album. And it's called Volnik. Well, there's Bjork. I'm going to move down. And if you can, you can read the name. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, and my pop-ups too. This is outrageous. Right. Um, you can get it through Steam from September the 6th, which we're there now, and it gives PC owners a single place to experience the 360-degree visuals available or previously available in the digital museum collection and beyond. Um, it includes 7 of the tracks from the album, with a 360-degree score composed by Stephen Malinowski. Ga, 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 ga. Um, to say it's a long wait would be an understatement. Bjorg has released another album called Utopia since their first VR experiences arrived. The release is a reflection of how much VR tech has matured since 2015, and etc. 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 That's all I've got to say about it, really. Find out more about that at engadget.com, engadget.com. Right, which one's this? Oh, yeah, vrfocus.com. That's VR, the letters, then focus, Focus, all one word, .com. And this is another interview at an event that's been taking place in South Korea, I think, the Gamescom. It's an interview with a company called Mammokisis. I think you can see there on screen if you can read it. You're better than me. And they're talking about a virtual world for everyone. And again, it's this sort of review thing when it comes to big open virtual reality worlds with social features. Sorry, social features. The growing abundance of them, Somnium Space, Sansar, Orbis VR, Reborn, and Nostos, to name a few. I would add to that, of course, Science Space and High Fidelity, where we are right now. And not to forget, good old Open Sims and things. Um, Anyway, little bit of interview with the company and the stuff they're um, going to be bringing online. Oh, and there's a little video with them as well. Okay. Right. Now, a new site here. Well, new, it's not a regular one anyway. This is entrepreneur.com. If you can't spell that, I'll give it you. entrepreneur. Entrepreneur.com. And the article by guest writer Deborah Lee Chariton, I guess. Virtual reality is incredibly empowering for working women. And virtual technology can help create a more equal reality. So if you're particularly interested in women's affairs, but obviously virtual reality too, then yeah, all about empowering women. Quite a lot to read there, as you can see as I scroll down. Okay, moving on. Finally, VR focus again. Sheffield is a place in the UK here, and they've had a festival. Um, Various point. It's an alternate realities exhibition that came up at the festival, and it's now going on a tour of the UK. So if you live in the UK here, starting in October, it's going to be going to 3 different cities. Um, right. You may or may not, sorry, know these. The Lighthouse in Bryston, the Home in Manchester, and then the Barbican in London. Each will feature highlights from the original exhibition, but not the same pieces. And we again got a summary of the pieces that are going to be on the tour. So if you're in the UK here and near any of those places, check that out. You can find it at vrfocus.com. Right, Magic Leap. This is, again is interfacing toys. Basically, this was the thing that was surrounded in secrecy for long enough, and they're now available. They're slightly less cumbersome than the Oculus headsets and Vives and stuff like that. But Magic Leap's thing really is augmented reality, even though there are sort of virtuality components. In other words, there's like a 3D model dinosaur that you can see walking around your coffee table if you wear your Magic Leap glasses. So, they've obviously modeled the dinosaur as if it was a virtual environment. Anyway, they're refocusing. Well, not refocusing, but they're seeing a bright future in augmented reality healthcare. and this basically is summarizes what they're doing in the area of health and wellness. And yeah, some of these I really can't I can't find too much to say about them except to tell you the article's there and it's worth a read if you're into that kind of thing. I obviously realise that many of the links we read out here are slightly specialised, even if for people involved in virtual reality anyway. Right. Now, VR chat is another one of these immersive sort of, I dare call it a world. It's very, very popular, VR chat, basically. And it's closed a 10 million US dollars Series C investment to continue expanding its immersive social platform, which is steeped in user generated content. Which I guess it's is good. It's considered unique among competitors like Rec Room and Big Screen, for example. Um, and as far as I know, um, I think VR. Well, you can get VR chat all over the place. It's not like really that much of an immersive world, but as I say, it's very popular, and they have meetings and things in there. And yeah, it's I presume that's inside VR chat. It's sort of hard to
Yeah,
tell.
that's VR chat, and it's I mean it supports full body suits for so it's very immersive.
Yeah. I suppose it's a matter of everything I've said. I mean, actually, come to think of it, some of those avatars could be here in high fidelity.
Hmm.
I've seen so. Oh, well, there's a realistic looking chap there. Yeah, I should investigate this a little bit more. I
It's
can't go
just
everywhere.
it has the reputation of being like Reddit or 4chan. There's just anything goes, and there's a lot of
Yeah.
controversy because of behavior, but otherwise
Ah,
very
well,
busy place.
just like ELG's Second Life of 15 years ago.
No, not Second Life. No.
Anything
Right,
goes.
right.
Controversy, controversy.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah, before the censors and the accountants move in.
Right.
Yeah, very good. So anyway, they've closed this round of what was it again? 10 million US dollars. Not to be laughed at, I suspect. I mean, I can think of various things I'd be able to do with that.
Yeah, I could make use of it.
So I'm sure they can too.
Yep.
Okay, so that report is at roadtovr.com. And September 5th, so that would be what, Thursday? Oh, it's good old Ben Lang writing that. So, yeah. Um, right, Magic. Oh, yeah, more about the Magic Leap. I can't get enough of them this week. This is a post at uploadvr.com. All one word there, Upload VR. Magic Leap has teamed up with Brain Labs, SyncThink, and XR Health for medical augmented reality. This is a different article, but it's basically covering the same stuff we had. What was it? Two clicks ago. It sounds like a distance, doesn't it? 2 clicks. Had
Military
one a
style,
minute ago.
right?
Yeah, this basically is a report on much the same thing at Upload VR. We don't really need both of them. Right, back to final two now. No, this one's quite interesting. A company called TCL is experimenting with a personal cinema visor. Now, quite frankly, if you've got a personal cinema visor, presumably you have got um, virtual reality glasses, if you see what I mean. Because actually, at the end of the day, processing and everything else aside, anything that can give you a display in front of your eyes that is high resolution rather than demanding a screen um, is ideal for navigating in VR. Obviously, the environment you're watching won't necessarily be TV. You'd probably have to have it plugged into a smartphone or a computer or something rather than a television. But nevertheless, the idea is that that's all you will need. And I must admit, it's not the best of. Oh dear, I had a nice little picture there, and it's turned into a video. Let's see what I can do here. Let's see if we can hear a bit of this. Actually, it never hurts. Um, maybe we can't.
I'm not hearing anything.
Oh no, you were yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Well, here at TCL, they're having another go with the idea of putting a cinema on your face. I've just been trying TCL's wearable display concept, and like all of those other attempts, the idea is to trick your mind into thinking that you're watching a 100-inch cinema display by placing two very small screens very close in front of your eyes. Now, compared to those other displays I mentioned, actually the effect is really quite good. You do feel as if you are in, a kind of mall multiplex where there's maybe 50 or 60 seats and you've got, a display that's only slightly bigger than a TV, but it really does work well in tricking your eye, and it's a lot lighter and a lot more comfortable to wear than those other displays, which were super bulky because they had to have all of the insides sitting on your head. Whereas this one, there's a USB-C out and then it connects to an Alcatel or TCL branded phone, and you can just use it like a secondary display for that device. Now, the other interesting thing is that rather than trying to very deliberately lock you in to this idea of a personal
There's
cinema,
the
they've actually made it so
bit
that
I
you
saw.
can
They
wear
do
it on
look rather
public
slick.
transport. There's a sort of semi-transparent polarized visor in front of the cinema. So when you sort of refocus, you can actually see the outlines of people and lights and stuff that's moving behind you. And the company says that the idea is eventually you'll be able to walk around the house watching TV and doing other things or playing games or sitting on a train or an airplane. One issue with using it in public, though, is that there is a pair of speakers mounted into the glass's arms. And if you want to be able to hear it, you have to turn the volume up, but the bleed is quite significant. So people next to you probably don't want to hear what you're watching unless they've also got a pair themselves. Now, at this point, it's just a concept. It's just TCL saying, hey, we're thinking about the future of video and what can
Okay, well, I think I'm not going to show the whole thing there. You can get the idea. Yeah, somebody did actually notice that they're not fully surround, so if you were using them in a virtual world, for example, you wouldn't really get the feeling of full immersion because your eyes can sort of see out at the side. But as the chap on the review there mentioned, actually, I mean, if you're, they are designed to be sort of portable and you can travel around. So, like, you might wear them on a bus, but you would have enough see-through to be able to, show a conductor your ticket and things like that at the same time. Mind you, I mean, a pair of glasses you can simply take off, can't you? Yeah, I don't particularly like the sound of those speakers because they are built in. Um, if people around you can hear them, that's not really that well designed. They'd probably be better off being a portable screen and leave people to find their own solutions for portable sound, of which there are plenty, as we all know. Who doesn't have a pair of decent headphones with their smartphone? So anyway, read more about that if you want. It's engadget.com, Engadget. Right, where was I? Where's my tab things? Oh yes, moving on. The last one here, the last thing for today. Um, my peek inside a secret VR headset shows a more social virtual reality. Smartphone pioneer and former HTC CEO Peter Chu thinks he's figured out how to crack the VR experience. I bet you a load of other people have claimed that. It's sort of,
Yeah,
yeah, I've cracked it,
I
haven't
think
I?
someone's done it.
Yeah, somebody's done it. Yeah. Anyway, anyway, sort of, oh, yeah, you successfully cracked it, for at least the next 4 days, until somebody else comes along. Anyway, this, blah, 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 at the Berlin Mess Convention Center, IFA Electronics Show, blah, blah, blah. The concept is called XR Space, so it's a new mixed reality company from Peter Chu, who was with HTC. And he's working in partnership with German wireless giant Dutch Telecom, or Deutsche Telekom, I think is probably the better pronunciation because it's German. And yeah, scrolling down here. Um, yeah, they're not actually revealing much except that it's in the works. They also liken it to XR Space's secrecy can't help but draw comparisons with that other super secretive alternative reality company, Magic Leap. Um, we've already visited them a couple of times today. Um, anyway, it is sort of company. Oh, and here's the chap himself. So that's the guy who's reckons he's cracked it this week at least, or whenever it happens. Okay, that's it. That's the end of all this stuff, believe it or not. So
Really?
that
Both feeds?
will yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's very little. I just had a peek here. Metaworld News. Um, the only thing I've got here, and this is September the 1st, which I don't even remember whether we had on last week's show. It's a look at Pangea roleplay on the OpenSim grid of Metropolis,
Hmm.
which is a hypergrid destination, of course. You can find this article at ooh.
Oh my.
Well, I haven't been croaky
You
today,
okay?
but that certainly
Okay.
proves
Okay.
something. I was getting a bit funny there. Right, Pangea roleplay, basically. It looks like flying dinosaurs sort of era kind of thing, from the based on the Avatar film
Mm.
era.
Mm-hmm.
Pandora, a moon of Alpha Centauri, and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's on the Metropolis grid. You can go to hg.metro.land port 80 to get to the welcome area, and you then need to teleport over to Pangea Welcome, which is Pangea space dash space welcome. That's actually the name of the region you want, or the main region. Apparently, you've got District 133 and a
I just have
forest area.
Mel. I have to laugh because I'm looking at the tags on that image for the Pangea roleplay, and there's a Jerry Anderson tag. The third line
Where
down.
do I, where do you get where are you getting the tags from?
On
You're
the
mousing over them?
Yeah, so the image you're showing on screen, on the
Yeah.
right column, there's something that says tags.
Oh, supercar and oh yes, sorry
Gary.
that right. The tags are actually for the blog,
Okay,
and it's blog.inf.ed.ac.uk,
right.
which is the University of Edinburgh, in fact, where I was based. Um, this blog is heavily involved in OpenSim, but so he reports he's got some things going on in Second Life too, um, some things here in High Fidelity, and obviously when it comes to favorite things that he likes recreating or creating regions for, he's obviously a big fan of Jerry Anderson. You've got Stingray, Supercar.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Actually, what? Hey, hang on a sec. Where's Thunderbirds?
Thunderbirds,
Hey, this it?
Fireball,
Yeah,
Moonbase
yeah.
Alpha.
Oh, yeah, Fireball
Oh
XL5. I
yeah,
remember that
that
one.
was a good
Yeah,
one,
so
right?
I can't see Thunder. Actually, believe it
Captain
or not,
Scarlet. Oh my goodness.
Thunderbirds is not actually listed there. But
Yeah.
I wish I was a spaceman, the fastest guy alive. I'd fly you around the universe in my Fireball XL5.
Oh,
How's
very
it
good,
space
very good.
together? We'd wander through the stars. Da 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 da. Because I can't remember anymore. But there you go.
Yep.
I can't sing either.
Yep. I hear it.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So this is just snapshots basically of his regions. I think they're obviously open regions. So on Metropolis. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Austin is involved in a whole load of sort of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
regions he
Mm-hmm.
does here, there, and everywhere. Some of which are private, but he'll sometimes blog about them and photograph them. But this one's public, and it looks absolutely wonderful for a visit. Um, so I guess later in the week I'm going to be logging into my old Great Canadian Grid avatar for some hypergrid things, which mentioned, James. Maybe while I'm doing that, I should do a bit of hypergridding on when is it Tuesday, I think, or something. At
Mm-hmm.
the same time as a prelude to a boring meeting. Ha
Sure.
ha.
Sure. Sure.
Anyway, yes, so that looks very nice. So, as I say, that is it. The link to this, by the way, well, I gave it you, blog IM for Ed AC UK. The actual University of Edinburgh. The actual link, if you want to click on it, is actually on the Metaworld News Twitter feed rather than the Bal Burns one. Um, but yeah, that's about it. There's also a Malburns underscore writer feed, which I'm trying to reorganize at the moment. It's basically arts and destinations in Second Life with a few others because um, all the machinima I find on YouTube and stuff and sort of gets aggregated and stuck into where it goes to a Tumblr blog. And then it goes to that feed, and it's been misbehaving for the last few months. So I've been doing a lot of um, tweaking behind the scenes, including making a new Tumblr blog, a second one, and tweaking the IFTT, if this then that code, to make sure everything is reconnecting and going to the right place. So if you follow twitter.com/malburns underscore writer, you'll probably find a little bit more than usual, but lots of snapshots of nice looking virtual world places and videos, some of which are about OpenSim, most of which come from Second Life, and some feature other immersive world stuff too. Anyway, yes. So James, anything sparking your interest there elsewhere?
Mm, lots of things are very interesting. The HTC story is very interesting. Of course, HTC making the Vive, but to say they finally found some part of VR is hilarious, to say the least.
Yeah, yeah, it's worth a read with the guy actually, and of
Yeah.
course he was the former CEO
Has
of
he used
HTC
his
Vive,
products?
but well, presumably yes, but I think he's on to something else now. Is basically the
Yeah,
idea.
yeah.
It's not so much the product is not so much the hardware; it's more the software. I think, um, from what I could gather scanning the article. But yeah, um, and the product is supposed to be like an engaging virtual world rather than a game.
Hmm.
So that really falls
Yeah,
in that.
it's funny the tone of the article. Just looking at the summary, there is that, you know, looking for a place where you're not isolated, and then half the times people are complaining, "Well, I go into a VR world and I'm assailed by other avatars." So it doesn't seem like
Well,
there's a
I
good in between, right?
Yeah, I think it's like anything else. Everything's ruled by content, isn't it? I
Yeah,
mean, and the
yeah.
devices we use. I mean, if you you're naturally going to be a bit antisocial anyway if you stick yourself in a helmet and cut yourself off from hearing people in your room or what's going on around you. Where that full immersion thing, whether you do it to be it first a solitary experience or whether you do it as going and joining a crowd, it's entirely up to you, really. I mean, there are different platforms that what ones specialize in crowds, one are more, others are more solitary, and some, I would argue, that OpenSim and things like that can be both. It's simply a
Hmm.
matter of where you go when you've got in. Um, you know, um, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's two things really: the degree of immersion that you're willing to put up with. In other words, all the haptic devices you can strap on yourself to literally enclose yourself in another realm, and the mood you want to be in when you're in there. You might want to be with a crowd, but you might want to be silent, listening to music.
Hmm.
Or might want to be with a big crowd, just talking to everybody you bump into. Or you might just want to get on a horse and ride around a deserted place for miles and miles and miles. Or just explore. I actually like building sort of from the sky, where I'm behaving a bit like a god and terraforming huge swathes of land and dropping it all down. And I actually don't know what it's going to really be like until I actually drop to the ground and wander around and explore it. And I don't actually know sometimes myself what I've done because the fun will be trucking around on that land I've created and finding out what's there and maybe modifying it or putting plants down or you know, covering up caves with rocks and you know stuff you do, and it's a total thing of wandering around, solitary exploring. Really,
Hmm.
it's a good way to focus your mind because once you're used to how to do it, it's a bit like people say they write the most songs or they have their best thoughts when they go out to the park and walk around in the real world, as it were.
Yeah.
And I think a similar thing is with duality. I mean, if you have a place where you can just be on your own, enjoy yourself, the sounds, the scenery, and everything else, it will, hopefully invoke a sort of sense of calm. Not exactly back with nature, but back with electronic nature. But invoke a sense of calm and relax your mind, and make you feel a bit creative or give you time to think, which a lot of people don't have in the modern world.
Hmm.
Rabbit hole,
Yep.
rabbit hole.
No,
Yeah,
no.
ring the
End.
bell.
End of the show. That's
Yeah,
fine.
ring the bell.
All
Yes,
right.
indeed. Right. Okay. Well, hopefully, I hope we had a bit of there today to interest you, folks, and we'll be back same time, same place. Well, same time, maybe a different place. You
Maybe a
just
different
never know with
place.
us.
Right.
You never know with us these days. Yes. Sort of. We might. Well, even in Hypothetical here, we might pop over to Avacon or somewhere else and do something. Anyway, for now, that's it. Um, Thanks to James Out Loud for all his assistance, of course, and it's goodbye from him.
Oh yeah, I forgot. And it's goodbye from him.
Indeed, indeed, from both of us. Until next week, have a good one.